everybody. Welcome back to Major Misconduct. Scott Taylor, Curt Keelback. We're at Four Place Sports Bar in downtown Winnipeg, and this is 360Winnipeg.ca. The National Hockey League met with its players. Gary Bettman and his negotiating team met with Donald Fehr and his negotiating team, and Bettman showed up with an offer. And I think that was big of him. The problem is that the offer was for 46% of legitimate revenues, while the players have already been making 57% of legitimate revenues. Does that just scream strike/lockout?
No, not to me. That screams negotiation ploy. I mean, he's offering 46. What he really wants is 50. The players have 57. They've got to come down. And I think what would be wrong with a 50-50 split? Really, the owners have as much right to make a buck as the players do.
I have no argument with that.
Well, then, so
but that's not the question.
You don't come in there and say, here's 50, because then you got to negotiate somewhere between 50 and 57. So it's the way things have been handled forever. You go low ball, high ball, and you meet in the middle.
Yeah, but you missed the point of the question. The question was, does that mean strike or lockout? Because I agree, 50-50 is fair. I'm not going to get an argument over what percentage point is fair or not fair. The problem is, do the players want more than 57 this time around, and do the owners want less than 50 this time around, and are we going to find ourselves in mid-September without any hockey?
Well, there's a very good chance we will find ourselves, because as we've seen before, both sides can dig in their heels and be very, very stubborn. Donald Fehr's got this reputation of never having lost. Gary Bettman likes to think of himself as a winner at the same time. It's going to be two stubborn heads.
Think himself as a winner.
They're two very stubborn people going head to head, and it's going to be, hopefully it's not going to be at the price of hockey, because we've been through that, and it's boring, it turns people off. And people always go through the same melodrama saying, I'm never going to go to another game. And then, of course, they drop the puck and the fans are filing in. They can't even get seats in a lot of arenas, including the one right here, albeit a different situation because it's new. So, no, they've had 4 work stoppages since, what, 1991?
Yes.
Maybe think about it a little while. Don't be so bloody stubborn. And guys are making millions of dollars. Guys are making millions of dollars to play this game. How can you give that up? Because you've got that window, you got the opportunity to reinforce your multimillionaire status. Go for it, and just don't nickel and dime it.
They hired a guy to be their executive director, whose mantra is no cap, no cap, no cap. He took baseball out. I think he'd take these hockey players out at the drop of a hat. I think Donald Fehr was hired to strike. And while he goes on and says, oh, it's the last resort, I don't believe it for a second.
Well,
I don't think we're playing hockey in September.
An awful lot of people are of the same opinion that the season is going to get off to a late start.
Very late.
And a lot of people believe, though, it will start because of the contracts they have with NBC and all the rest. Because there's different pressure points. The pressure points for the players is right at the beginning. They want to get their whole season in. The pressure points for the owners comes a little bit later. They want the outside game because it's a big seller, and they want all the things that begin in January after the NFL is done. So there's different times when both times got to dig in and both times got to be met. I just hope they actually think this one through for a change and don't let ego stand in the way of good management.
Oh, we know that ego will. We'll be back with Major Misconduct live from Four Place Sports Bar. This is 360Winnipeg.ca.